Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Hope you guys been enjoying the content on the channel as of late. We are off to the grocery store. Got to grab some stuff for the family, so we're just heading off right now. Hope you guys are having a good holiday season so far. It's a little chilly out here, hopefully it's a good one. Hopefully you're all just relaxed, or if you're just having some fun, hopefully that's what's happening. But yeah, hopefully you guys are having a great Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. Hopefully you're having a fun time. This is going to be a brief little video because we've already discussed this, but I think it's good to bring up it up again because I just realized that there is actually another example of this whole strategy that's in place right now with Hollywood, rolling out to the end of 2024, which is trying to cultivate a trend, trying to replicate the Barbie Oppenheimer thing. Now, we talked about this before in a video, and we talked about the two major examples of, with the one that just passed, Wicked and Gladiator 2, which did not turn out to be a success. The media will present it a certain way, so they'll make it seem like, oh no, it was actually very, very, very good because look how it performed on Thanksgiving weekend. It's like, that's not really what happened. Really, that was more attributed to Moana 2 and, by the finances when you look into it, budgets, marketing costs, and all that sort of stuff. Those two films specifically, Wicked and Gladiator 2, they were very expensive pieces, and they've yet to reach their milestones, and frankly, I don't think they are at this point. Wicked's probably going to close out at like $600 million, which, if you've seen my videos, is nowhere close to where it actually needs to perform. So that's not good. And Gladiator 2, we can call a failure already. It's not even gotten close to like $500 million, and that needs to do $1 billion as well. So yeah, those two did not work out. Now, we actually have two more attempts at this. Now, we talked about the other notable one, which is next week. That is Mufasa and Sonic. So we talked about that already. I did not realize until I just saw it just now that we actually do have a third one, and it's this weekend, on December 13th. We have another attempt at this whole Barbie Oppenheimer thing, or at least a strategy, to replicate some sort of trend, which is between these two films, Kraven the Hunter and the new Lord of the Rings film that's coming out. I have no idea why I did not realize it, but so we actually have three examples, three attempts at, Hollywood and these studios, frankly, just trying to make this thing work. And the reason why they're doing it is very different compared to the whole Barbie Oppenheimer thing. See, Barbie and Oppenheimer's trend was, the reason why those films stayed together was because they saw the trend online. They already saw it. They saw people online talking about these two films, talking about, oh, which one are you going to see first? There was already that trend that was there. And frankly, it was more attributed to Barbie being there. Oppenheimer was fortunate to profit on that respect, but it could have been any other major release, that would have, Oppenheimer was not pivotal in that whole situation. It was Barbie that was really doing the heavy lifting there. Oppenheimer just kind of rode the wave with Barbie, right? But the trend was already there, so in the pockets, in the money that they were able to get, it makes a lot more sense once you understand what was already there before the films even came out. Looking at all these three attempts that they have going, there literally is no trends that I can think of, at least from what I've seen, and read. There's no trends out there for any of these films. There wasn't really a big trend out for Wicked and Gladiator. I mean, there was a Glicked, I think, that was the tagline right now, the tagline for that trend. Really, you saw that didn't mean anything when you put it in perspective the types of costs that are on the table, which we've also discussed before which was another factor as to why I believe these sort of trends, these hopes for trends, would not come to pass, because you're talking about higher cost and production and marketing. So to me, that was a lot of the reason why it wouldn't turn out the way that studios wanted it to. And that's the reason also, just to mind you, that's the distinction between these two. Between Barbie and between all these attempts that are at play here. This is all a studio thing, right? This is not based on what social media is saying. This is not based on a trend or any discussions being had. I mean, if anything, the discussions being had are what films are going to financially do okay and what films are going to flop. I mean, really, that's what the discussions are online. So, especially with these this weekend with like Kraven the Hunter, like everyone's figuring out how much of a flop it's probably going to be. So, like, the reason for these 3 attempts is because typically when you do this, it actually is kind of a bad strategy, because what you're doing in some respect is that you may be giving more value to another film than another, and depending on the circumstance, depending on what's being discussed, maybe then both films will profit, like Barbie and Oppenheimer did. But in the case of what's the Wicked and Gladiator example, Wicked really was the one that made the more profit compared to Gladiator 2, so it wasn't really much of a competition in that respect, and the same will probably happen with these films coming out. In the case of Kraven the Hunter and Lord of the Rings, probably Lord of the Rings will end up doing a little bit better, probably, but what studios are doing ultimately within this is acknowledging that their fear of how these films will likely do. They see the writing on the wall. They see that these films are probably not going to end up doing that well. So the only real strategy that they have at this point is just to push these films together and hope that in that package, in that combo, in those release windows, that they may in fact reap some more money than they would previously. So, but I don't see that happening. I really don't. I don't think that these offerings are that strong. Mufasa might be an exception to that. Who knows? But really, I just don't see anything. I really don't see these films coming out and doing the business that they need to do. But that's just my view on that. So, but who knows? I mean, maybe a miracle will happen, a Christmas miracle, but I severely doubt that. But we'll see. I mean, I have big doubts, and really just by strategy, what is happening within these 3 release dates, it shows also the studio has doubts as well. I mean, that's really the reason why they have these films being put together. It has nothing to do with whatever's happening online. It has nothing to do with a big trend being cultivated and being created. No, it has everything to do with the fact that these studios are fearful and probably are aware to the fact that these films individually on their own will not make money. So in putting these films together, they hope that maybe they can sum up some finance or some kind of revenue. And really, I don't think that that's going to come to pass, especially with these next 2 weeks. I just don't think that we're going to be seeing that. Very much so this week. I don't think you're going to see that with Kraven and Lord of the Rings. I think both films are going to end up not doing too well. But next week might be a different story. So we'll see. It really depends, as we've discussed, it really depends on the cost of things. It really depends on, how much you put into production, how much you've put into marketing. And if it's a lot, that's not going to work well for you. So we'll see. We'll see once we get more awares to figures and more awares to other things. But this week, I would say you're probably looking at a dead weekend, probably a very quiet weekend. And then next week, you might get a little bit more life, a little bit more interest. But I don't think it's going to make a complete 180. Really, not much of anything, if you ask me. So, but You guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I just realized that there was another attempt at this, or some sort of another, like studio type, with two movies, big movies getting released at the same time. I just realized that there was another one, and it really also demonstrates how this year has really not been that great. When you have, at the tail end of the year, these studios just putting these films together, they know that they're struggling, and they need to make some kind of money within these last releases, and I doubt that it's gonna show when it's all said and done. But you guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you guys think that this weekend with Kraven the Hunter and Lord of the Rings, do you guys think that there's going to be any big financial pull, or do you think like I think, and it's just going to be a down weekend? And your thoughts on the Mufasa and Sonic one. Which one do you think is going to end up making the more money? Do you think that generally they're going to make their money back? Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section below. And that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And until then, I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.